Why you're actually broke. It's not what you think. Look, I need you to be honest with yourself for a second. You make decent money. Like, objectively, you're doing okay. Maybe you're pulling in $60,000, $70,000, maybe even six figures. But somehow, at the end of every single month, you're still sitting there looking at your bank account thinking, where did it all go? And here's the really frustrating part. You're not even buying crazy stuff. You're not out here leasing a Lamborghini or booking trips to Dubai every weekend. You're just living, getting coffee, ordering dinner a few times a week, maybe hitting up Target for one thing and walking out $150 lighter. Normal stuff. But that normal stuff is quietly destroying your financial future. And nobody wants to talk about why. My name is Arthur, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who should be building wealth are actually going backwards. If you're someone who feels like you make good money, but somehow can't get ahead, can't build savings, can't figure out why your bank account looks the same, or worse, than it did 3 years ago, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're going to talk about the real reason you're broke. And I'm warning you right now, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. But if you stick with me, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening to your money, why it's happening, and most importantly, how to actually fix it. Here's the thing that blows my mind. According to a 2023 survey by payroll.org, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. But here's where it gets interesting. That number includes people making over $100,000 a year. We're not just talking about people struggling on minimum wage. We're talking about six-figure earners who literally cannot handle a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. How is that even possible? Well, there's this concept I call being comfortable broke. You're not sleeping in your car. You're not skipping meals. You've got a nice apartment, a relatively new car. You go out with friends. You've got subscriptions to everything under the sun. You look successful. You feel successful, at least in the moment. But behind the scenes, you're one layoff away from complete financial disaster. And the truly scary part is that most people don't even realize they're in this situation until it's too late. They think, I'm fine. I'm making my payments. Everything's good. But making your payments is not the same thing as building wealth. Not even close. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Arthur, but I'm not wasteful. I don't blow money on stupid things. And look, I believe you. But here's what most people don't realize. The problem isn't the big, obvious purchases. It's what I call lifestyle creep. And it's absolutely killing your finances. Let me break down what this actually looks like with real numbers, because this is where it gets really eye-opening. Let's say 5 years ago, you were making $50,000 a year. You had an $800 apartment. You cooked most of your meals. You had basic cable, maybe one streaming service. Your monthly expenses were probably around $2,800, and you were actually saving a little bit, maybe $400 a month. Now, you're making $75,000. That's a 50% raise. You should be crushing it, right? But here's what happened instead. That $800 apartment became a $1,500 apartment because you deserve it, and it's only $700 more. You upgraded your car because the old one wasn't reliable. Translation: you wanted something nicer. Your car payment went from $250 to $450. You got Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Spotify, that meditation app, the meal kit service. That's $150 right there. You started ordering food 3 to 4 times a week instead of once because you're too busy to cook. There's another $400. You joined that nice gym instead of the budget one, $80 instead of $25. You upgraded your phone plan, got nicer clothes because you need to look professional, started going to that trendy coffee shop every morning. And suddenly, even though you're making $25,000 more per year, you're actually saving less than you were before. Maybe $200 a month, maybe nothing at all. This is the trap. Your income went up 50%, but your expenses went up 60%. And here's the really brutal part. It doesn't feel like you're being irresponsible. Every single one of those decisions made sense in isolation. But together, they're the reason you're broke. So why do we do this? Why do smart people who
know better still fall into this trap. There's actually some fascinating psychology here. There's this concept called hedonic adaptation, which is just a fancy way of saying that humans are really good at getting used to stuff. That apartment upgrade that felt amazing for the first month. By month 3,
It's just your apartment. That nice car? After a few weeks, it's just your car. The pleasure fades, but the payment stays forever. But here's where it gets really interesting. According to research from Princeton University, emotional well-being rises with income up to about $75,000. But after that, the correlation basically disappears. You know what that means? Going from $75,000 to $150,000 probably won't make you significantly happier, but it will absolutely give you more opportunities to spend money trying to find happiness. And companies know this about you. They've spent billions of dollars figuring out how to separate you from your money. They make it so easy. One-click ordering. Buy now, pay later. Subscription services that auto-renew. They've literally gamified spending money. Look, I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but you need to understand. Every single app on your phone, every website you visit, every ad you see, they're all designed by incredibly smart people whose entire job is to make you spend money as effortlessly as possible. Let me show you exactly how this plays out with some real math, because when you actually see the numbers, it's shocking. Let's take that person making $75,000. After taxes, that's roughly $4,700 per month. Now let's look at where it goes. Rent/mortgage, $1,500. Car payment, $450. Car insurance, $150. Gas, $200. Groceries, $400. Restaurants/takeout, $400. Subscriptions, $150. Phone, $100. Internet, $70. Utilities, $150. Student loans, $300. Credit card minimum payments, $200. Shopping/clothes, $200. Entertainment, $150. Coffee/drinks, $100. Random Amazon purchases, $180. That adds up to $4,700. Exactly what they make. Zero savings, zero investing, zero buffer for emergencies. And here's what really keeps me up at night. That $400 they spent on restaurants, if they cut that in half and invested $200 per month in an index fund, averaging 10% returns, in 30 years, that's $452,000. That's nearly $500,000 they're literally eating. Those subscriptions? That's $150 a month, which is $1,800 a year. Over 30 years at 10% returns, that's $339,000. I'm not saying you should never enjoy your life, but I am saying that most people have no idea what these small expenses are actually costing them in the long run. Now, here's something most financial advice completely misses. The real problem isn't your variable spending, it's your fixed costs. Everyone wants to tell you to skip the latte, but nobody wants to talk about the fact that you're spending 40% of your income on rent, or that you bought way too much car, or that you're locked into these massive fixed expenses that you literally cannot change without major life disruption. Here's the thing. You can only cut variable expenses so much. You can skip coffee, you can meal prep, you can cancel subscriptions. But if your rent is $2,000 a month and your car payment is $600, you've already locked in $2,600 in expenses before you've eaten a single meal. This is why the traditional advice of just budget better doesn't work. You can't budget your way out of fundamentally unsustainable fixed costs. You need to make bigger, harder decisions. And look, I get it. Nobody wants to downgrade their apartment. Nobody wants to sell their car and get something cheaper. It feels like going backwards. But here's what most people don't realize. That nicer apartment and that better car are the chains keeping you broke. They're not symbols of success. They're symbols of choosing lifestyle over wealth. We also need to talk about social media for a second, because this is a huge part of the problem. You're scrolling through Instagram, and everyone you know is posting pictures from vacations, showing off new clothes, eating at nice restaurants, living in beautiful apartments. And your brain starts thinking, everyone else is doing this. This must be normal. This must be what successful people do. But here's what you don't see. You don't see their credit card statements. You don't see that they're $40,000 in debt. You don't see that they're stressed out every night wondering how they're going to make their payments. You don't see that the vacation was paid for with a credit card at 24% interest. According to a study by Allianz, 61% of millennials experience FOMO-driven spending because of what they see on social social media. They're literally going into debt to maintain an image. And this creates this insane cycle where everyone is pretending to be wealthy, which makes everyone else spend money they don't have to also appear wealthy, which makes everyone actually broke while looking successful. It's completely backwards. Okay, so we've established the problem. Now let me give you the actual solution, because unlike most financial content that just points out problems, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Step 1. Calculate your true hourly wage. Take your annual income, divide it by 2,000, roughly your working hours, and that's your real hourly wage. If you make $60,000, that's $30 per hour. Now, before you buy anything, ask yourself, is this worth X hours of my life? That $150 dinner? That's 5 hours of your life. That $800 concert ticket? That's 27 hours. When you think about purchases in terms of life energy, it completely changes your relationship with money. Step 2. Conduct a lifestyle audit. Go through your last 3 months of bank statements. Not to judge yourself, but to understand where your money actually goes. You'll be shocked. Most people have no idea they're spending $40 a month on a gym they never use, or $15 a month on a subscription they forgot existed. Step 3. Implement the 50-30-20 rule, but actually do it right. 50% on needs, 30% on wants, 20% on savings and debt. But here's the key. Your needs category includes your fixed costs. And if it's over 50%, you have a problem that requires a bigger solution. You might need to move. You might need to sell your car. I know that sounds dramatic, but sometimes dramatic action is what's required. Step 4. Automate your savings before you see the money. This is huge. If you wait until the end of the month to save, you won't. You'll always find something to spend it on. But if the money goes straight from your paycheck into savings or investments, you never even miss it. Set it up so that on payday, money automatically goes to your savings account, your investment account, your retirement account, whatever your goals are. Step 5. Use the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases. If you want something that costs more than $50, wait 24 hours. Most of the time, you'll realize you don't actually want it. You just wanted the feeling of buying something. But here's the most important thing, and this is where most people fail. You need to fundamentally change how you think about money. Being wealthy isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. I know people making $50,000 who are building real wealth, and I know people making $200,000 who are completely broke. The difference isn't income, it's behavior. You need to stop thinking about money as something to spend and start thinking about it as something that buys you freedom. Every dollar you save is a dollar that's working for you instead of you working for it. Every dollar you invest is a dollar that's growing while you sleep. This isn't about deprivation. This isn't about never enjoying your life. This is about being intentional. It's about choosing what actually matters to you instead of just spending on whatever is in front of you. Look, I know this video was harsh. I know some of you are probably sitting there feeling called out right now, but I'm not saying any of this to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because I genuinely want you to win. I want you to stop being trapped in this cycle of making good money but having nothing to show for it. The truth is, you're probably not broke because you're bad with money. You're broke because you're living in a system designed to keep you broke. A system where spending is easier than ever, where everyone around you is spending, where the entire economy is built on you consuming as much as possible. But you can opt out. You can make different choices. You can decide that building wealth is more important than looking wealthy. And if you do, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you're going to look back and realize that the decision you made today to actually take control of your money was one of the most important decisions of your life. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing from this video, just one. Maybe it's calculating your true hourly wage. Maybe it's conducting that lifestyle audit. Maybe it's automating your savings. Whatever it is, do it this week, not next month, not when you feel ready, this week. Because here's the thing, your future self is watching what you do today, and you can either be the person who kept making excuses, or you can be the person who actually did something about it. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I make videos like this every week, breaking down exactly how money works and how to actually build wealth in the real world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.